Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, and turn on notifications so that you will receive alerts when there are new episodes. Go get it.
That's what I tell them. I've been grinding for so long, I wake up and chase my goals. I go out and I go get it. How to code, that's all I know. I don't succeed, then I don't breathe. Success, what does it mean? If I conquer all my goals, then I'm living out my dream. Dig deep, go out and get it. Success Chronicles. Compete until it's finished. Success Chronicles. Go take care of your business. Success Chronicles. It's deeper than just winning. Success Chronicles.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Elizabeth Greever with us. Great lady, man, really doing some neat, positive things, has a really cool story. And I'm so thankful to have her on this episode of the Success Chronicles. So first off, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm so honored to be on here with you. So thank you for that.
Good deal. Well, let's get into it. Talk to us about your life story.
Oh my gosh. Well, I grew up in North Carolina, in Western North Carolina. My parents are still there, and went to school at Appalachian State, and I studied child development. I wanted to work with kids in some capacity. I wasn't quite sure what that was going to look like. I thought I was actually going to work in the hospitals with children, but then after doing a couple summers of an internship, I decided that was not quite a fit for me. It was a little more emotional than I could handle on a day-to-day. And so I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I had graduated from college at that point. I feel like they kind of do college backwards. You should do your internships first and then figure out what you're going to study. But nonetheless, I graduated and didn't know what I was going to do. So I kept working the jobs I had in school and decided I wanted to do a little traveling with my dad. My dad owns a company in North Carolina. And so I've always kind of had that entrepreneur like blood. And I grew up with business owners, so I was very confused. I was into yoga and I wanted to like have a jewelry company, and I wanted to work with kids. I wanted to do all these
You're
things
everywhere, huh?
Yes, and I just didn't really know where all that was going to take me. But I ended up here in Houston because when I was traveling with my dad, I actually met my now husband on the airplane when we were flying back to North Carolina from being out here in Houston for a trade show. So I met him, and he put Texas on the map for me. And he had just moved down here to teach and coach. And so the opportunity here was tremendous, and the school districts here are tremendous, and much better than what I was looking at trying to get into education in North Carolina. And long story short, we started dating, and I decided I was going to pursue moving out here, but I wanted to move out here for me. Yeah. So I got into graduate school at A&M and studied special ed, and got a job in Conroe ISD and was a teacher, special ed teacher for 6 years. So I loved it. I loved it for a really long time. But then it was time for a change for me. And we don't have family here. We both, are transplants, I guess, but we love this area, and we love where we live and just the community and the opportunity here. So we've both since transitioned out of education. But my transition was a little scary because when I decided that we wanted to start our investment business, like we always wanted to do investing, but we weren't really sure how to do that, right? Like you think you have to have $1 million to start buying real estate and all these things, and it turns out you don't. So, we started pursuing that and learning about how we can invest. And that like full year of just kind of educating and figuring all of that out, I decided, you know what, I'm going to pursue this, and I'm really going to try and build a real estate portfolio for us, and, do all this stuff with houses and fix them up and other things. And so we started our company a few years ago. So it's my full-time all day, every day. But I love it and a lot of fun. So that's kind of a, I guess, synopsis of where I came from and how I got here.
Well, like I said, it's a good story. uh, it's always neat when people, and being a Texas guy, it's always neat to hear people say, those great things about Texas, and then we're in the same area, so I can attest to, and it's an amazing area.
It
Lots
is.
of access to do all of the things that you want to do. Still, the area we're in, it's still have a small town feel, but you
Yeah,
have access to do big city things as well.
that's
So
right.
so it's really neat. Yeah.
Oh yeah, the community here is just tremendous, and we really saw that hard. I'm sure everybody did at Harvey too. Like everybody
Hmm.
just helping everybody. Like there was no question.
Yep.
It was just who needs what. How can I give that to you? And you really just saw everybody come together. And I see that you see that all the time in smaller scales with people in business and in life, and just trying to just trying to do all the things. You see that. I always say we live in the best community to build a business and a life for yourself and your family. And I really believe that. And I
Yeah.
love that. So we love being here so much.
That's good stuff. Well, what are 3 things you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
Oh my goodness. I am really proud of us starting our business. It
Hmm.
was really scary. There was nobody paying me a salary, so I was going from this very safe, get paid twice a month, had insurance, all the things. Like I knew I was going to get paid, right?
Yeah, that's
Um,
scary.
yeah, nothing. And
Yeah.
that was probably the scariest thing I've ever done. As a matter of fact, the day that I drove to school to meet with my principal and tell her that I was going to leave and resign, I cried the whole way to school. I was terrified. I was so scared because I had done no deals. I had made
Hmm.
$0. I had made some good connections. I had, people in place that I knew would help me along the way as things came up. But I was terrified. So taking that leap and quitting that job that safe job and pursuing something that I was really passionate about, I'm really proud of that. And I feel like that in itself is an accomplishment. Um, Oh man, let's see. I'm I'm proud of I'm proud of the fact that we're 3.5 years in and we're still going. We're still, I've learned all the things about business, and I feel like being this far in, you're still so young and you're still figuring it all out as a business. But then you're continue to push forward even when it's uncomfortable and when it's scared.
Yeah.
And so I know that's not like a big like awarded accomplishment or anything, but I just feel like um, doing that and getting up every day and keep pushing forward, like I'm really proud of that. So when I look back and I say, man, I pushed through some crazy stuff this year, like it fuels me and it makes me strong. um I think the other thing I'm really proud of actually is creating Inspired Leaders. So, Inspired Leaders is a local monthly event that we host, and we bring in local leaders from the community, and they share their stories of grit and perseverance and success. So it's not just a rah rah, let me come in here and get, all fired up about how I'm going to be awesome today. It's like people really sharing their stories of like, I had to file bankruptcy 10 years ago,
Yeah.
or, I lost my job and we had nothing and we had to, move in with our parents to, get our back on our feet, or any number of things, right? That people go through all the time, every day. But when you look at somebody who's successful and you like see them out there and they're doing well, you're like, man, they must have had it made, the whole time, right? They just they just woke up one day and they had it all figured out, and it's not true. And so it's really humbling to me that these people will come in and share these stories with the community, because it's very vulnerable to talk about that and to tell people these things that it's like,
Yes.
I lost my rear end in this deal, or whatever. Like it's hard to share all of that, but it's such an honor to be able to bring that to other people in this community that are trying to create a life for their families. And I think it gives them encouragement and hope in a different way. And when we feel like, man, I do not want to go to work today, or man, I think I should just quit because I am terrible at this, you can remember oh, hey, I heard, Daryl Jones speak, for example. He's who connected us, right? I heard
Yeah.
Daryl Jones speak, and he shared this real, raw story with us and shared what he does, or some of the things that he does daily to keep him focused and motivated and energized and knowing who he is and what his purpose is. And so it's people like him and stories like that that are encouraging. And I'm proud that we put it together, and it's, I don't know. So I guess those are my three things. My very long-winded three things, but those are my three things.
No. That's good. I think one thing first I'm gonna say it's okay that you're saying it's long-winded, because what that shows, it shows your passion.
Yeah.
It shows your passion and that you wholeheartedly believe in it. And I love that. I think, as I heard you talk about, the people that are, the speaker inspired leaders, no one is immune from going through tough things. I don't care who you are.
That's right.
And so my first book that I did is titled Growing Through Your Go Through. And what we have to do is not necessarily just go through those tough things, but we have to find the blessings in those lessons, so that when we get out, we grow through it. And when we get out on the other side, we're better. We learn those lessons, and not just for us, but so that we can be the best version of ourselves, so that we can help others.
For sure. No, absolutely. And I believe that when we, like you said, we're helping others, right? So like you go through something and then God brings people into your life that they then need to hear that story of what you did and how you dealt with that and who you brought in to help you or whatever, so that they can then go on and deal with it, and it doesn't crush them. It helps them keep moving forward. So
and it helps them move more efficiently.
This is very true.
Yeah. Well, let's hit on success. Hearing you talking about your three things that you're proud of, I would consider those to be huge successes. And so what's your definition of success?
I think for me, it's when you can get up every day and be happy with what you're doing, and proud of who you are and the life that you're creating and the things that you're doing and influence that you're having and all that kind of stuff. Like, I feel like it's really like an inside in your heart peace, that you're where you are, you're where you're supposed to be, and you're growing and moving forward and doing all the goodness. But you're at peace with it, right? So like, we all always want more, right, of the tangible things, more money or a bigger house or a newer car or these fabulous vacations or all the things. Like, don't get me wrong, like I believe that those things are like some of the rewards of when you are financially successful. And I believe that financial success comes when you have that peace, when you're really like, what you're doing and you're proud of it. And when things are good, you're so, so grateful. And when things are bad, you are still so, so grateful.
Yes.
And I think that when you can get to that place inside of you is when you're successful, and that will continue to grow and evolve. I've learned, I guess the hard way, that success is not I climbed to the top of the mountain and now I'm done. I kind of always thought that as a kid. I thought I'd get out of college and I would get married and have a house and have a job, and I would just be like sailing on my merry way, right? And it did not happen that way. And my job, for example, has changed obviously since I got out of school, and it went from not knowing what I wanted to do to teaching to now, starting this real estate investment company. Like, it has changed, and so it doesn't stay static. And so I think that when you find the peace in what you're doing and know that things are going to continue to change, that's when you've really found success.
Well, I wholeheartedly agree that it is an inside job, success. And, I interviewed a guy, David Chin, big time businessman. And I shared this for those of you that are watching and listening. You've heard me share this before, but it's so great and it hits home. So I want to make sure I share it with you. And David Chin's a big time businessman, and his story, it blow you away, if you heard his story. But he had a quote. He was saying, you don't have to strive to conquer the world. You just have to strive to conquer yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's so good.
And I mean, and we know that, but like, when he put it into those words, like, it blew me away, because really, if you just focus on being the best version of yourself, organically, all the distractions will be eliminated. you'll be able to have that tunnel vision and be able to do the things that you need to do to get where you want to get and have that inner peace, like you explained.
Absolutely. I just put a quote out the other day that said, "Don't compare your beginning to somebody else's middle." And it's
Mm,
so true, because, you look at somebody and you're like, man, they got it all figured out. They've done all the things. Like, what am I
yeah,
even doing? I got nothing. I got 3 followers, all right? I've done 2 deals or whatever it is, right? And so you're just like comparing yourself to them. And ultimately, when you can step back from that and be proud of what they've done, and then learn from that, going back to what we said earlier, learn some of the things that they've done. Um, and then build it your own way. You're your own person, and you've got your own value and own things to contribute to this world. And when you can find that and know that, you really can do great things, and you should be grateful for that and proud of that. And it's hard. It's not, you don't always have that mindset, right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you've got some days where you're like, man, I am terrible at this. But it's okay. Like, nobody is perfect all the time.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect ever, really, but nobody is accurate all the time, but you strive for accuracy.
That's it. We all make mistakes. None of us are perfect. We're just striving to do the best we can with what we have,
For sure. Yeah.
So, this part's a little different here. Gonna go off script a little bit. I'm
I
gonna
know.
mention 3. I'm gonna say a word or a phrase, and if you don't mind, tell me what comes to mind with you when you hear this. And it could be a word, it could be a phrase, it could be whatever you choose, however you choose to respond.
Okay.
All right. She's taking a deep breath.
I gotta get ready.
Let's go. No. So the first one is investment.
Ooh. Time, risk, opportunity,
Mm,
giving,
mm,
receiving.
like it.
Um, yeah. What I
Okay.
got?
All right. The next one is gratitude.
Peace. Um, like a shine from your heart. Just like, yes, grateful for that. And you can feel it inside of you. Yeah, that's all I got
Okay.
for that one. That's
All
just,
right.
it's more like a word picture of just that like light shine inside of your chest, of just like a peace in your heart.
I can see it. I can visualize it. I'm with
Yeah.
you. All right. And then the last one, it's a good one. So I'm warning you on that one. This is the good one right here. The last one is legacy.
um, Impacting people's lives for forever in a way that
Mm,
you can't even imagine when you're making the decisions that you're making. When we started our business, that was our thing. We wanted to create and leave a legacy. And I think it kind of goes back to like leaving people better off than like after you leave somebody, leaving them better off than they were when you arrived, kind of thing. And so I see that every day, right? Like when you're interacting with people, I think you can leave like a version of a legacy with them, right? And how you feel.
yeah.
For us too, it's about our family. We've got grandparents who have impacted our lives in ways that I don't even know if they realized how big it was going to be, right? When they made these decisions and put these things into action. And it's their footsteps that we want to follow, right? And so that's generational impact that is like changing our lives, right? It's allowing us to do some of these things that we're doing, and inspiring us to do some of these things that we're doing. And so I think when you like put something into motion, that energy just keeps rippling and rippling and rippling and rippling in some way. And I feel like that's legacy.
Now you're talking my language. The ripple effect. And I
Yeah,
think, for me that's what it's all about. Just striving hard every day to do my little part
yes,
in the positive ripple effect to make our world a better place.
for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes. Well, before we get off, if you don't mind sharing with the audience where they can go follow you, check you out, and show you some love and support with the amazing things that you guys have going on.
Thank you. I really appreciate that. We got, I kind of have like 3 avenues that I'm out there on all the socials.
Well, let's
On
do it.
Instagram, on Instagram, I am just Elizabeth Greever. That's me, my life, personal things. But I've been trying to use Instagram as a place where I'm real about stuff, right? Like talking about just different things and different struggles and whatever. And maybe it's a pretty picture, but it's got some context to it. So I'm Elizabeth Greever on Instagram. Inspired Leaders is also on Instagram. So it's Inspired Leaders _. And we post quotes from our speakers, and we post about our sponsors, and we post about upcoming dates and things like that. So it's supposed to be a very inspirational feed there. And then we're EverSan Cooper, also on Instagram. And we post our befores and afters and some inspirational business quotes and things that we're doing in the community. And then all of those are the same on Facebook. So we're EverSan Cooper on Facebook. We're Inspired Leaders on Facebook. And we are, I am Elizabeth, actually Santangelo Greever on Facebook. Santangelo is my maiden name. It's actually part of what makes EverSan Cooper. So Ever is the last part of Greever, which is our married name. And San is the first part of Santangelo, which is my maiden name. So that's where the EverSan comes from. And then Cooper is our 14-and-a-half-year-old chocolate lab that we just love and adore. And he's everything to us. And so he gets the full name in the business company. He's actually in charge. But anyways, so we are, that's how we're EverSan Cooper.
Well, good deal. Well, again, I want to say thank you so much for taking the time to interview with the Success Chronicles and sharing those success nuggets that we can all learn from.
Thank you. It is an honor. I really appreciate you and your time. So thank you so much.
All right. Well, there it is. And thank you guys for checking out this episode. We'll see you next time. God bless. Go get it.